I'm AP Townley, and this is Roleplay Culture. Today, we're going to be talking about that gaming component that adds flavor to the DM's creation and creates a more realistic roleplay experience for the players. The Noble NPC. Not to be confused with the NPC nobles, though those can be important too. As we'll see, NPCs are your quest givers, keepers of clues and important details, or simply the DM's way to gently drag the players back on the story rails. But how your players react to or interact with your NPCs is entirely up to them and almost never by design. It's easy for the DM to get frustrated when the players ignore their carefully planned dialogue or make a joke of your story-critical NPC. So here are a few tips on making your NPC match your players' behavior. Number 1, the quest giver. You spent hours, even days, crafting a nuanced world, peppered with colorful characters and their rich personalities, backstories, and quests that feed into each other in an artistically climactic sequence. It's just a shame that the party walks right up to the village potentate, takes his quest, and runs right past that farmer searching for his daughter taken by the BBEG. So how do you make sure they don't miss out on important quest givers in your town? The approach. You could just have important quest givers approach the party. When your party says, "We're going here," you introduce your NPC with, "Along the way, you meet." If the party still won't take the bait, make the roll for it. An insight check with a low DC will let the dice decide whether they cooperate, or an opposing persuasion check if you want to really give it to the dice gods. The stone wall. If the approach is not your style, you could use the stone wall. When the players approach a quest giver you're not ready for, he can refuse to deal with them until they gain some clout in the town, or help a specific NPC, or just prove their worth. Be careful with this technique. Players can get easily frustrated and annoyed if they have to spend session after session hunting down NPCs for side quests if they don't feel like the story is progressing. The loner. The players enter a town, but it seems completely abandoned, save for a lone figure sitting in the town square. This technique deprives your players of the option of bypassing your plan by giving them only one NPC to choose from. However, after like 2 or 3 lonely NPCs, this gets significantly less immersive. So use it sparingly. Number 2, the Escort Mission. Nobody likes escort missions. Nobody. But sometimes they might be necessary to the story, or set up an event that doesn't work as well without it. So how do you make it so the players don't simply abandon the NPC in the Fangorn Forest, or get distracted by another quest with the NPC still in tow? The buddy. Make the NPC likable. By now, you know your players, the inside jokes, running themes, moments of game that they really enjoy. So designing the NPC's personality with this in mind, making them like part of the party, will help ensure the players treat him with the same respect they treat each other's, such as that is. It also gives you, as the DM, a chance to be a bit more a part of the team yourself. The coin purse. Money talks, and nothing makes friends faster than gold pieces. A rich NPC throwing money at the party every time they do something relevant to the NPC's quest is a great way to keep them on track. Just make sure the actual coin purse is enchanted and tied to the NPC's well-being, so the party doesn't just rob that poor fool. The Immortal. This is a nuclear solution. An NPC who can't be killed, can't be abandoned, and persistently follows the party, reminding them of their quest, annoying them into completing it as soon as possible. Ideally, the party will plow through the quest to get rid of the NPC clinger hanger-on. But it's equally possible they'll stop showing up for the game night, so be careful with this one and be sure to read the room. This NPC can be very memorable, though, and can introduce some interesting drama into the party. Number 3, The unexpected character. It's happened to every gaming group at least once. The party encounters an enemy or an NPC, and for some indiscernible reason, the party decides to adopt them. This can be a challenge for the DM if you didn't have that character fleshed out beyond maybe combat stats. It can take some serious improv skills and work between sessions, but adopted NPCs can definitely add interesting flavor and engagement to the game. Here are some examples on how our party has dealt with that. The employee. After raiding a street gang hangout, we interrogated the last surviving member of their operation. Through some very lucky dice rolls, we convinced him to work for us, hire a new crew, and turn the gang's protection racket into a legitimate business enterprise. With us at the helm. Beyond that initial interaction, we rarely interacted with that NPC in person again, but he sent us letters with our weekly cut of the profits. The new party member. While exterminating a goblin hangout, we decided to interrogate the last survivor. Are you detecting a theme here? The DM did such a spectacular impression of this goblin that they exist in our games even to this day. And his name was...
Rude? I can introduce myself just fine. Hi, I'm Vernick the Goblin, and this is my pet rat, Scabby 5. Or maybe it's 6.
Oh, I knew I shouldn't have had that 3-day-old curry.
You can't have Scabby. I might get hungry later.
What fresh hell is this?
Now listen here, Townley. I'm here to explain this stuff. Now you step back. Ahem. So, when you have a lovable NPC or new party character, such as myself, join the team, we can really help out. We could carry stuff. Well, okay, not me. Cook supper. That's me. Polish armor. That's definitely not me. Or even help out in combat. Just make sure you give us all the really good equipment so we can really take over the battle and the plot. Hey, that was me too. My kill.
Okay, look, you've made your point. Would you please go away? You're freaking me out.
Oh, I'm never going away. Oh.
Think all that's holy, that's over. As another point, these are also characters that give good support abilities, like the healer feat too, without screwing around too much with the combat. Number 4, Sidekick. We'll keep this one brief as there are rules for this already posted. Sidekicks are companions for the characters granted by the DM. They are creatures of no more than 1/2 CR, who then take levels in one of 3 Sidekick classes. They are sometimes used in adventuring parties that have very few members, usually 2, maybe 3, to help add a little more power or to fill in some utility gaps. They are most commonly used in a one-on-one game that only have one adventurer to help keep them alive. The Expert. This is the rogue/support class for the sidekicks, with skill and tool proficiencies as well as other roguish features. These classes can get feats, and I think they're a really good candidate for the healer feat. The Scout is an excellent template to match with the Expert that can support with a longbow and with some woodsy skills. And a pro tip, give these guys the Ritual Caster feat to give them more utility. Or Chef, and make them the camp cook. The Spellcaster. This is the one that can be quite variable. From healer to blaster to controller, mages choose their spells from the wizard spell list, healers from cleric and druid, and the prodigy from the bard and warlock. The spellcasting progression is similar to an artificer. As for the monster template, though you may be tempted to search for the highest CR creature, I would suggest searching lower, like way lower, to the noble who gets a 16 in charisma and intelligence and wisdom, not too shabby either. With a spellcaster, it's all about the casting stat. The warrior. But if the party needs a little more muscle, this is the choice. This sidekick is fighter-inspired with more weapon and armor proficiencies as well as some more martial combat focus. A hobgoblin would do well here, but my personal favorite would be the warhorse. Who doesn't want to ride around on a battle steed? Number 5, the merchant. If you watch Critical Role, then you know some of the most beloved characters are the merchants in that show. Same goes for the Legends of Vox Machina. Sadly, this is a type of NPC that's kind of dying out. In D&D 5e, there just isn't a lot to spend your gold on, and so those relationships don't form with the players. I remember when I first started playing D&D many moons ago, and we had an extra dimensional warehouse of magic items that would pop in randomly to where we were. One problem, it was constantly on fire. So you just couldn't start browsing. It was weird, but it was memorable. It was its own character. So if you're playing D&D or even Pathfinder, merchants of different types can be a lot of fun to include in your game. The barkeep. They're not just going to sell you ale, but information. All good bartenders keep an ear out for juicy gossip that they can sell for a little extra to enterprising young adventurers. The innkeeper. Somewhat similar to the barkeep, the innkeeper can run the place where the party hangs their hats. Their base, if you will. This can be a good place for quests to come to them. The shopkeeper. This is the person that will actually sell them stuff. Like we said, in 5th edition, this can be a bit more limited, but in other games like Pathfinder, not so much. It can be an alchemist that provides healing potions, or the armor upgrading your fighter into plate mail. Or maybe this guy.
Hi. Tonight, we will astound you with spooky tales. I don't know what's going to happen because we're just going to continue the game that we normally play.
Whatever it is, they have what you need. And sometimes they can have jobs for the party too. I mean, that spring water for healing potions doesn't spring itself. So there are just a few examples of NPCs that you can include in your ttrpgs. Not just D&D. Really, any game can benefit from this. So be sure to subscribe, ring the bell, smash that like button, tell me in the comments below some of the good NPCs you've cooked up. Check out our other videos, and I'll see you in the parlor.